Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for all of our subscribers. Thank you for all of our likes. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for everything. You guys are a very major asset to this ministry, and we just want to say thank you guys. And then also thank you to Crystal Ward for constantly being faithful in this ministry. We thank you and we appreciate you so very much. On today, most of us know the story of Lazarus. But we wanted to talk about it today. And Lazarus was deceased, dead, in the Word of God. And Martha, his sister, had had a conversation with Jesus as he was coming to see Lazarus. Okay, and so I want to read that. Okay. And many of the Jews had joined the woman around Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. So this brother of theirs is already dead. And so people have already come on the scene and started to try to encourage them and try to console them. Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Jesus was coming, went and met him. But Mary was sitting in the house. Now Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if you would have been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that whatever you ask of God, God will give you. Jesus said to her, your brother will arise again. Martha said to him, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he may die, he shall live. And whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. Do you believe this? She said to him, yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who is to come into the world. And when she had said these things, she went her way and secretly called Mary, her sister, saying, the teacher has come and is calling for you. As soon as she heard this, she arose quickly and came to him. Now Jesus had not yet come into the town, but was in the place where Martha had met him. Then the Jews who were with her in the house and comforting her, when they saw that Mary rose up quickly and went out, followed her, saying, she is going to the tomb to weep there. Then when Mary came where Jesus was and saw him, he fell down at his feet, saying to him, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Therefore, when Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who came with her weeping, he groaned in the spirit and was troubled. And he said, where have you laid him? They said to him, Lord, come and see. Jesus wept. Then the Jews said, see how he loves him? See how he loved him? And some of them said, could not this man who opened the eyes of the blind also have kept this man from dying? Then Jesus, again groaning in himself, came to the tomb. It was a cave and a stone laying against it. Jesus said, take away the stone. Martha, the sister of him who was dead, Martha, the sister of him who was dead, said to him, Lord, by this time there is a stench. He stinks, for he has been dead for 4 days. Jesus said to her, did I not say to you that if you would believe, you would see the glory of God? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead man was laying. And Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me, and I know that you always hear me. But because of the people who are standing by, I said this, that they may believe that you sent me. Now when he had said these things, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he who had died came out, bound hands and foot with grave cloths, and his face was wrapped with a cloth. Jesus said to them, loose him and let him go. Then many of the Jews who had come to Mary and had seen the things Jesus did believed in him. So I want to say to you, it's a few parts. I love this story because sometimes we think of dead as just physical death. But there are a lot of people that have spiritual death that is looking like they can never get back to where God has called them to be. And so in this moment, right now, even this part in which he said, and he who had died came out bound hand and foot with grave claws, and his face was wrapped with a cloth. Jesus said, loose him. And so right now, it may look like your hands are tied. Right now, it may look like your feet are consumed by something trying to keep you from being able to move and do the things of God freely. But I just want to let you know on today, whatever is deceased in your life, God is still the resurrection power. And he said to Martha, if you just, did I not tell you, if you just believe? If you just believe. It's some things that she was trying to say that, yeah, he's dead, but I know he'll rise again whenever you come back to get your people. But basically, where is he going to be able to come back now? And Jesus had to tell her, I love him too. I care for him too. But sometimes in order for God to do a great thing and raise stuff up, he first has to let it fall down. And God would have never gotten the glory if he hadn't allowed Lazarus to die. They wrapped him up. He has a stench. He is completely dead. Typically, they tell you after how many minutes is it, AJ, when you're in the hospital, if you died for longer than this amount of time, then they don't resuscitate you. If you're dead for 8 minutes or more, they do not resuscitate you. And so then you have to consider the fact that this man was dead for 4 days. He had a stench. He was all wrapped up in the stuff that they wrap up a deceased individual in. And all the while, they rolled the tomb in front of him, because that's what their grave sites looked like at one point. And God is saying, I want to remove the stone. Not only do I want to roll the stone away, but I want to heal him, and then I want to heal him first, and then I want to unbind him, and then I want to loose him. So I want you to know that God is loosing some things in your life, but first it had to be dead. God is loosing some things in your spiritual, but it first had to be dead. These dry bones can live again. Them dry bones will grow. Them dry bones will grow back together, and they will begin to rattle and let you know that they are still alive and well. But first, we must believe. I want you to know that whatever your situation is, I need you to know that the same God that wept for Lazarus is the same God that is weeping for you. He sees your hurt. He sees your pain. Will you let him heal you? Will you still believe even though every odd looks like it's against you? Will you still believe? Will you still believe in the resurrection power? Will you still believe that God is God and he is God all by himself? Will you still believe that he is God yesterday? He is still God today. He is still God tomorrow. He is still God, and he is still doing amazing things. He is still raising the sick. He is still opening up blinded eyes. He is still raising the dead. He is still healing the sick. He is still opening blinded eyes. He is still doing what God does. And no matter what, because even in this situation, where Martha got frustrated with him and was like, Lord, if you would have been here. No, the Lord couldn't be there at that moment, because he needed the people to know, so that the people that walked away and said they walked away. And it said, and had seen the things Jesus did and believed in him. If he had not let him die, they would have never believed in him. They would have never believed that Jesus would come, even though the situation looks dead. It looks deceased. It looks all wrapped up and tied up and tangled up. But the situation was not dead to Jesus. It was only dead to man. And to get man to believe, Jesus had to make he had to make it visible that the situation was dead. And so right now, the situation may look dead to you. Right now, your finances may look dead to you. Right now, your relationship with a lot of people may look dead to you. But I am telling you, it had to first look dead so that you could see the resurrection power and believe. May God bless you and keep you.